Hello and welcome to Take 3 with PT. This is a YouTube series where I take 3 minutes to answer a biblical, practical, or theological question. Today's question is, what is humility and how do I get some? So let's talk about humility. In the book of James, the author gives us two different glances at humility. Humility is a virtue, a Christian virtue, and humility is something that happens to us. Humility as a virtue. James teaches if we humble ourselves in the sight of the Lord, He will lift you up. So humility is a choice. It's a choice to view ourselves in a certain way. Earlier in the book of James, though, the author says that God raises up the humble and He pulls down the proud. Humility is also something that happens to us by circumstance. It's when life kind of pushes us to the ground level. And so you can be a humbled person and you can be a humble person. A humbled person, life has pressed down on them, and a humble person has chosen to view themselves in a certain way. That's the Christian virtue. So how should I view myself? Humility is about not thinking too much of yourself and also not thinking of yourself too much. We can run the danger of not thinking too much of ourselves by going the opposite direction and thinking, man, I'm such a wretch, I'm such a loser. And it's not uncommon for us to have this sort of internal dialogue. That's not humility, that's self-depreciation. You also might talk about some of your accomplishments in life and always then undercut them with some sort of self-depreciating caveat. Yeah, I got an A on the test, but the teacher grades things so easily. Someone might say, oh man, your house is so nice. And you're like, well, yeah, but it's not as nice as other people's houses. So that's the first part of humility. It's not thinking too much of yourself, but that doesn't mean self-depreciation. Second part is it's not thinking of yourself too much, as in thinking of yourself all the time, which is very hard in our culture. I mean, look at this. I am talking to you from my YouTube channel. At some point, something popped up at the top of the screen saying, you should check out this video. At the very end, it's going to have a picture of my face and the next video you should watch. And I pay attention to the number of views I get. This is one example of us living in a self-focused, self-expressive culture. We're also living in an age where all of our products are designed to satisfy our needs. And so marketing focuses on you, and we think me. We think of ourselves too much. And C.S. Lewis says true humility shows up in self-forgetfulness. You're so focused on your love for God or your love for others that you're not constantly thinking about your love for yourself. This is in fact the humility that Jesus had. Shows up in Philippians chapter 2. He humbled himself, took on the form of a slave, died a death on the cross. Why? For the glory of the Father. And then we know that God lifted him up. Humility is a mark of Jesus and should be of his followers.